Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Thank you for joining me again today. How are we all, wherever you are in the world when you're watching this? Hello, and thank you for joining me. Before I start, I've just got a couple of things, bit of housekeeping to do. First of all, to the Trump bots, to the Russian bots, to those that, for whatever reason, don't like the message and seek to shoot the messenger. I do moderate fairly well on this channel, so it doesn't take long to discover who you are and delete that nasty comment or that comment that starts to sling the negativity back to me. There's two things you should do. You should go within instead of looking without to solve the the turbulent emotions within you, and you definitely shouldn't be on this channel because my channel's not for you. This is a spiritual channel. This is a channel that seeks, even through those really difficult readings, to bring forward the light into things, to discover and to shift, to definitely shift the perspective. Having said that, I would also say that the energies that I'm picking up, particularly in America, is, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of despair. It's a spiral of, it goes without saying we despise the corruptness that we're seeing, but don't become the negative energy. Always bring yourself out of that. And if social media is too much for you, for God's sake, put it down. I'm actually scaling back myself this week, and I'm going to put my focus elsewhere onto the more gentle energies, because it is all about energies, and these energies do impact on us. So without going any further than that, I'm going to draw some cards from our good tarot, because I think that's a nice shift. We've got the Laughing Buddha on the bottom of the deck, the Ten of Waters, and then I've got a real draw to the purples, the violets, the indigo, blue kind of colours at the moment. I guess I chose some of that this morning. I feel that there is needing to be a real healing in our higher self. Now, remembering that the crown chakra, which is the violet flame, the third eye indigo, and the throat chakra blue, are all the higher self chakras. And the lower ones, the root chakra, our security in the world, our sacral chakra, really getting a pounding at the moment, our confidence, our expression, our self-expression, our creativity, what we use to really solve problems. Really, that is that orange color. That is getting a real battering at the moment, and people are feeling it. And also in their solar plexus chakra, which is associated with the color yellow. So the lower chakras are joined to the higher self chakras by the heart chakra, and that is the green color. So if you're wanting protection, just kick it up, shift that vibration higher. As I said, this is a spiritual channel. If you're not looking for spiritual information or resonance, then this channel isn't for you. So today I'm using my Connolly tarot, which is a very, it's one of those original kind of tarot decks, along with the Aquarian tarot, which I do have. And they used these violet indigo colours, and that's why I bought it. They don't even use the word death in their descriptions of each card. I think they use transition, so they don't want. It's a very higher energy type of card, and I'm really drawn to these colours, the blues, the the violets, the indigos, but also I noticed here in this card is this orangey colour here as well, and the red blending with the red. So I want to read on CV today. I want to take a good look at that. As you know, CV is resurging in Australia, and I want to look at, and of course it's fairly rampant in the Americas as well. UK seems to have, and Europe seem to have got them under control, but the lesson for us is in Australia we had it very much under control. We had one of the best, I think, along with Taiwan, some of the best numbers in terms of managing it in the world. Yet we started to return to normal, and our community transmission went up. I noticed that California today is shutting down again. So it's timely to do this reading. So what happened in Australia? Let's take that as a case study. Can we balance the economy, and what is the result of letting this just go and not managing it? Our health system's overrun. Our employment is overrun as well, because people are sick, people are dying. So that's the sort of baseline here. Can we balance these things? What do we need to know? Why do people still think it's a hoax? We're getting those news reports of people taking their last breath saying, I shouldn't have gone to that party. I thought it was a hoax. I made a mistake. Why do they think that? Is it denial until it happens to them? That's a very dangerous, risky strategy. Will there be a vaccine? And what is the tipping point in all of this? What do we need to learn in relation to adaptation? My feeling is we're going to have to learn to live with it one way or another until there's a vaccine, or until we get that herd immunity. But the science is out on all of this, so very uncertain times. Of course, in the US and Brazil, the Americas as they call it, we've got the highest rates in the world. Russia's up there as well. As I said, UK, Germany, France seem to be flattening the curves. But in Australia and to Japan, to a certain extent, is starting to see a rise. But certainly in Australia, which is where I'm going to go now. So let's draw from the Good Tarot, some overarching messages for us today to kick that vibration up, to sit in those higher self colours, to understand that, we're doing it tough at the moment, to acknowledge that, but also not to sell ourselves short. Our power is ours at the individual level when we look within. So let's have a look. Three messages from, I want to say Gaia. I want to say the Earth. Three messages from the Earth. Three messages from the Earth, from Gaia. Six of Earth. Whew. Okay, it was Gaia wanting to bring through a message. The Six of Earth. This is going back to the past. This fawn, it's interesting because in some decks, a fawn, a deer, an antelope, whatever, it is asking us to acknowledge almost like a period of stasis before something comes around again, which is new, which is perhaps better. But this is also asking us to draw on our higher selves. So my inclination to sit in those violet flames, those purples, those blues, is an inclination that I need to sit in that higher self energy for the moment. The Six of Pentacles, going back to the past, reconnecting with our higher self, is a huge message at the moment. Let me look for another couple of cards. I'm looking at the Celtic symbols here as well. They are spirals, and again I talked about this spiraling energy at the moment. Show me this messages from Gaia. What else do you want to tell us? What else do you want to tell us? What else do you want to tell us? So I'm getting the image of the Ace of Pentacles, which is, if you think about the tarot, you've got the ace in the hand and you've got that spiraling energy. The Ace of Pentacles is actually a softer energy. It's a softer new start. So within that spiral of energy, what is that? What is that energy pattern? And I am going like that instead of clockwise. So again, going back to the past, and something is in stasis and will be new. This is what this energy is doing. I guess it's the energy we see in adversity. All right, so it's almost like the Earth Gaia. As I've always said, I'm seeing the bird in my third eye, which is my totem, to connect with spirit. I've always said that, this is something that has come from the earth, and it is something that we need to acknowledge. There is a changing of ways, whether we like it or whether we don't. The moon card, interesting, number 18, of course, adds up to 9, which is a reset. It is the reset number, and sometimes it can be a beautiful renaissance period as well. But in this card, this person, she's dropping something from. Looks like the dark side of the moon as well, or when I say the moon that is not illuminated, because this isn't a full moon. So to me, that is indicating that, if we look for it, as I said, the power is within. Even though it is difficult for us to actually see, that power is coming from within. So the moon, the phases of the moon. It has been said, and I will get to the tarot, but I think this is important too. There's two things that I've heard recently that have been that has resonated. The eclipses that we have, this eclipse season has been drawing our attention more and more to what we need to see. It's also been said that these eclipses, because of Trump's natal chart, have impacted on him as well. So with each eclipse, we get to see more of that shadow side, more of that what we need to see to actualize this change. The Queen of Air is on the bottom, and of course that bird that I saw, it's perfect for this card, the Queen of Air. Logic, strategy, having plans, wisdom in knowledge, and this is what at the moment in America, the Trump government is trying to, I heard one legal commenter say, spit on the rule of law, spit on science, desecrate all of that with their attacks on Dr. Anthony Fauci, which won't work, by the way. So we can sit in what the earth is telling us is that the messages from Gaia are connect with your higher self. Don't be afraid of the shadow. Understand the universe and its way of actualizing change. But stay in this logic. This is really important, and it is this beautiful blue color as well. Stay in this logic. Don't be sidetracked with the negativity. Stay off social media if you want to. Certainly if you're feeling a little bit triggered and reactionary and you're descending into that dark energy, give it a miss for a while. All right, let's move to the tarot and look at these direct CV questions. And we'll go from there. All right, let's work our way through them, viewers. All right. What happened in Australia? What happened? What did we need to learn in Australia? Victoria, Melbourne went into complete lockdown. And, because of the lockdown, people were taking, were politicising that lockdown and taking aim at that premier there, calling him Dictator Dan. And then of course he's trying, and the government of Victoria are trying to contain this thing, but people are getting weary. Where's the answer? I can see this happening elsewhere as well. As we go to ease the restrictions. Now, I'm coming back to Gaia. We're going to have to adapt, I feel. All right, what happened in Australia? And, of course, then it shifted to New South Wales. States then closed their borders. There was blame and retribution and, politicising of it, all the things you would expect. So what do we need to learn from this higher perspective? What happened in Australia? Page of Wands. As I said, I'm getting a real pull to. I'm going to bring the laptop down and we'll just go through the questions so that you can see these blue cards and sit in some of that blue cards. See these lovely cards and sit in some of the energies of the colours here. This is communication, and of course it's no accident that the creator of the deck has used this blue, because the Page of Wands is on a journey, but sometimes this journey is almost finding their way, finding their voice. Let's keep going. Restriction, the Eight of Swords, this restriction. So this is telling me that, it was always going to be there. It was always going to resurge. But people they wanted out. They didn't want to be restricted. They don't want to live in lockdowns. They want to live in freedom. But there's also a lot of anxiety there as well. So here are all of these turbulent energies seemingly in this one card. People feeling like they're prisoners. People feeling like their freedom has been taken away. People worried, anxious, fearful. And this is a cold snow here that these swords are stuck into, meaning that the situation has been frozen by the attitudes of the people in the situation. So let's have a look. The Hermit. Again, I'm just getting lockdown cards, but I am getting a call to this third eye colour here. This is calling for introspection, and it's calling to bring the light, to keep the light focused on the light. There are things here, obviously, that we have to learn, whether you're going to take a spiritual perspective or a practical. And I am reminded of the practical. You can be determined about something, but you also have to be practical. And so there are even, as well as spiritual, a spiritual perspective about balance and staying balanced is also a practical perspective as well. Let's have a look at the fourth card, the Nine of Cups. Now that's interesting, and again I'm going to this colour behind here too. This is wish fulfillment. It's also a breakthrough. So what's going to guide that breakthrough? What is that breakthrough? We're using Australia as a bit of a case study, got it under control, relaxed, restrictions started to break out again. The Sun is my card for this for CV. So what this is showing me is that it was in its very infancies, because this is only a page, and a page has a journey to make, a journey getting of wisdom. So again, coming back to scientifically, politically, whichever way you want to dice it, we had a lot to learn about this. And of course, it's that illumination. It's the, again, I'm drawn to the illumination in both of these cards. Quite simply, we just didn't know enough. We still don't, I think. The Nine of Pentacles. What is fueling this kind of attitude is that people are, again, thinking about the loss of freedom, but they're also thinking about the loss of income, the loss of financial security, because this is someone that has enough to meet their needs. It's sitting mirrored right underneath the Eight of Swords. So no wonder the energies at the moment are so challenging. for all readers, for all intuitives, for all empaths, for all sensitives, for everyone, I guess, because we all have fear. That is one of the emotions we have to get into balance within us, because fear can very quickly run away from us. Underneath the Hermit, the message is, what is the introspection at this is a very practical reading, so Spirit is giving me practical solutions here. Go slow. Don't go fast. Go in stages. Do the practical, logical, strategic thing. If you go slow, you'll be there. You've got that long haul again. So what happened in Australia, what is happening in Australia, is we move too quickly to ease these restrictions. Okay, so the Hierophant, the highest source, having faith underneath this breakthrough. So there's going to be a breakthrough in all of this. Now, one of my questions is, will we get to a vaccine? Let's see what's at the base of the pack. The King of Swords. Okay, those that will get through this are those that will manage very tightly with it. And we've also got Justice here. So sitting underneath this Eight of Swords, there is, again, a practical, again, I'm drawn to all this higher self here. One of the things that Justice does do is bring forward the best of us, our highest values and ideals. One way or another, this is what's in play, because we don't have the ability to control this virus. This virus is controlling us, at least until we get a vaccine. Now, some people are saying, what about the anti-vaxxers? Well, leave that to them. That's their decision. What are you going to do? Again, looking without and sitting in that really frustrating energy. All right, so underneath the Knight of Pentacles, we have the review. The harvest not reaching its fullness, having to go back and do things differently. I do feel this is not a short-term proposition. We're going to have to live with this for the foreseeable future. And we've got loss here. Of course, that is those that are passing from this, those that are suffering, those that are out of work, all of that. The Five of Wands here is the partisanship, and of course the obstacles, challenges, the gaslighting. I'm going to get to that question now, I think. So what that is showing me is that can we balance the economy, with this? We can if we go slowly. We can if we ensure that whatever we do it in a reliable fashion, that we don't rush things. And we have to accept the downturn in our economies. Why do people think? Let's go here. Why do people think it's a hoax? Why do people think it's a hoax? This is the polarity. Let me just check in with Spirit. I've asked Spirit for to bring forward information that can stand in the light today. So it's the unity, and I got that thought this morning. It is the disunity. That is that's what exploits this virus, the disunity. So again, that message from Gaia is coming forward. There is something within that the Earth is acting in our benefit. Now, I know that people don't want to hear that message, but the way that we were going was cataclysmic anyway. One way or another. This, again, I come back to practicalities. This is all about change. All right, so why do people think this is a hoax? Why do people... And this is getting into the Trumpsters territory. In Australia, we have an appalling politician as well, a bit like a female Trumpster. They're everywhere. Why do people think this is a hoax? Again, using, kicking things, shifting up. People don't want to lose their freedoms. They're worried about businesses, money. All of those are valid considerations. But those people that just go out and politicise it, deliberately go against the norm, why do they, that type of person, why are they considering that it's a hoax? Fear. It is all around fear. Fear of change as well. Why do these people, show me spirit, why do these people think this is a hoax? Why do people think CV is a hoax? They don't like the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. They're not at that, I don't want to put value-laden judgments here when I say level. They're not there yet in order to hear the truth. The Four of Wands, okay, community coming together is the first card out. Third eye as well, third eye colours here. I'm really drawn to colours today. And the green in this card, which is that heart chakra. So there is something around as I said, the higher body is united with those lower chakras, or connected with those lower chakras through that green energy of the heart. So the Four of Wands, okay, that's coming through here. They don't want life to change. They want life to go on as it has in the past. Eat, drink and be merry. In New South Wales, we had the community transmission. This is community transmission. At one of the largest hotels in our western heavily populated suburbs in Sydney, at a hotel, a pub. People don't want their lifestyle to change. We've got the Seven of Swords. They think it's a lie. They think they're being deceived because they don't want their lifestyle to change. They're living in denial and they're blaming the messenger. And they will tear down, like we've seen in America. There are dark clouds with these swords sitting in, swords are words, thoughts. They will tear down their scientists, these people, led by this. I don't even want to say his name. Sideshow Don, led by Sideshow Don. They will fall into this energy because it's easier for them to sit in. But these are dark clouds that are brewing here. Let's have a look at what's next. The Three of Swords, heartbreak and loss. There is no getting around this, and we've got dark clouds here showing that there will be misfortune one way or another. So again, coming back to the practicality, how are we going to beat this thing? We're going to beat it through logic, objectivity, planning and strategy. But we've got the Eight of Wands here, things coming at us very, very quickly. These people aren't standing outside where the wands are coming down. They're not being hit yet. They're only watching it. So that's interesting. Until they're directly affected, they're going to sit in this energy because it's easier for them, and it's easier to think that they are being deceived. The Queen of Wands underneath the Four of Wands. This is, I guess, the balancing energy. Queens bring forward stability and security. This person is here, I think, almost like it's more than just common sense. It is those, so within this level of, I guess, this partisanship, we also have something else that is growing as well, and this is a movement here toward wanting security and stability. So even though we're going through this Three of Swords period here, we also have more stability coming to try and control the community transmission. Let's keep going. Underneath the Seven of Swords, we do have the Six of Wands, victory. So this is the politicization of it as well. What is it designed to do? It's designed for that short-term Political victory. Is that going to occur? No, it's not, because this is bigger than that. And so, we've got this Three of Swords here and the Eight of Wands, suggesting that this is whatever worked in the past. This is just too big. It's just not going to work. Politicizing this, in the end, it's an inevitability that it will catch up with those who are not managing this, and it will result in loss, heartbreak, sickness, and all, could result in death as well. Look at the Tower underneath the Three of Swords. I really just wish for this unity, but in America and Brazil, which are the two highest cases in the world. And if you drill down with America's numbers, if you go per capita, it's still the highest. Brazil, you've got these right-winged leaders that have just done this for their own political gain. However, it's not working because we've got the Tower here, breaking down those structures. So ultimately, they're going to be the ones who will suffer politically for what they've done. The Six of Pentacles underneath the Eight of Wands. I guess, look at the economic question. This is talking about loans and debts. This is talking about financial restriction, financial downturn. This is talking about recessions and possibly even depressions and things coming forward very, very quickly. Okay, what's at the base of the pack? The Knight of Swords, the harsh truth. Why are these? Looks like these people are going to become victims of their own denial, because we've got the harsh truth here. Underneath the victory for these political leaders, let me bring the laptop down so you see it. The lies and deceit, wanting the political victory. We've got the Hanged Man. Ultimately, this is going to force people into looking at it, this thing differently. Underneath the Three of Swords, the Tower that they are bringing down. These are the people that don't wear masks, the deniers. They think it's a hoax. Look what they're bringing down on people. It's an absolute abuse of themselves and an abuse of those around them. We've got the Three of Pentacles. It's going to take everybody coming together to work this through. And, you're not going to do that if you don't have some kind of intention, because this card is all about intention. And I've got this little bird here, which came, I think, yesterday, was it? My last reading anyway. There's a message here and we've got this beautiful silver sword of truth here. Beautiful colours. Unless we intend to come together and fix this, there's just a wallowing in that negative energy. I do believe when the Star of Hope presents itself, that ultimately in time, this is what's going to happen. But you can see the way it's playing out here. Okay, so let's go to some predictive stuff now. Will there be a vaccine? And I think I'll finish it there, because that's where we want to go. Will there be a vaccine? This beautiful Connolly deck, these beautiful cards, I'm just so drawn to. The Ace of Pentacles, this soft energy with these beautiful red roses here going down into, and we've got, I think they're lilies, going down into the lower chakras, the root chakra, safety, security within the world. There's a gentle new start coming. It may not be obvious to you yet, but it's there. And we have our Nine of Cups, which came up before, that there will be a breakthrough at some point in the future. I asked about a vaccine. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for that encouragement, because I know people need it. Okay, so we've got the Three of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, again showing there will be a pause. I just saw a very small orb go via the screen there. There will be a wait in terms of economic recovery. So, again, balancing economic recovery with this virus is going to be very tricky for our political leaders. What can we do to help that? Okay, so will there be a vaccine? We're going to have a wait with that 3, but with that 9 of Pentacles, it's suggesting that there could be that breakthrough that restores our not only our freedom but our financial independence as well. So around the world, governments have chucked multi-million-dollar funds at the vaccine, including in America. Huge. I think they've got vaccine warp speed or something like that. It may be the one thing that that government has done well, but for their economic benefit, of course. In Australia, we've started our human trials. They're hoping to have a vaccine by 2021. Good results to come in September. So let's have a look. Will there be a vaccine? Let's have a look. Will there be a vaccine? So I'm getting the Ace of Cups, which is a new start. It's also an emotional new start as well. It's in a cup. So, again, something that allows us to start again. Let's have a look. Will there be a vaccine? Will there be a vaccine? Will there be a vaccine for CV? Will there be a vaccine? Page of Pentacles. We might get news fairly soon that things are looking, pretty promising. This is suggesting that it's in its infancy. There are good results that have been gained so far. This person has their foot on the books here, urging us to remember that what will not save us, but what will be the breakthrough will be science and knowledge here. Okay, the Tower card. Okay, so that's showing that we've got a way to go just yet, with more to come on what this Tower card brings forward. I'm also reminded with the Tower that if the Tower wasn't here, it would also show we wouldn't be making progress. The Tower is a transformation card. It's like something that is the start of progress through adversity. So we've got something that moves here. The Page of Pentacles is somebody that is starting a journey, and we've got the Tower card, transformational energies here. The King of Cups, yeah, these are good cards. This King of Cups is turning up in all my readings, and I'm particularly drawn to the cup that I saw at the beginning of this reading. And the Wheel of Fortune, the shift, things turning for the better. But it is, again, in time, and here's another cup here. So we do have a cycle to go through. We're not going to get something straight away, obviously. We are going to have to go through some of this energy here before we get to our vaccine. But I do feel that there is a vaccine on the way. With this Wheel of Fortune, it is suggesting the cycle will turn in our favour at some time in the future. Let's see if we can get a timeline. Very difficult to get on this. What is the timeline on CV? On a CV vaccination? I'm going to ask Spirit to show me some numbers. What is the timeline? So I'm seeing somebody working away in a lab. There is a lot of light around this work. So there is going to be a successful somewhere. There's going to be a successful vaccine developed. What is the timeline on this vaccine? To when we've got the start of production. Even that would give us hope. Spirit, what is the timeline? What is the timeline? I'm asking for a number. I'm getting 6, the 6 of Swords, so possibly 6 months. Where are we now? We could hear something at the end of the year, the beginning of next year, that there has been a successful vaccine developed, and it will take time then to produce. Okay, show me some timelines, please, on when we get this vaccine. How long have we got to wait? Page of Wands, so we're just at the start of things. I've got the 4 of Swords. So we've got, this is the card of ill health. We've got the the 8 of Cups. So there's going to be some starts and stops with this vaccine. And I've got the Hermit 9. Another 9. So it's going to be a way before we do get this vaccine. What's on at the base of the pack? Again, Page of Cups, we're just at the start of it. The Empress card, that's interesting. That's interesting because it's showing that there will be progress. We will return after time to normal, back to normal, what we would call normal, an adapted world with a vaccine. Justice is ours. And we've got the Knight of Swords here. Something coming forward. What numbers have we got here? 9s. 6 to 9 months. The Knight of Cups, there will be an offer here. The King of Pentacles. It's, again, it's just going to take a lot of money before we get there. The 7 of Cups. Be careful when people start talking about a vaccine that there's not this smoke screen. There's a lot of money involved here. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to present a good story. But what my cards are showing me is that we're only at the beginning of this process and it is going to take some time. And we will have to move through this in that logical way. I do get a hit on 6 months, and I am getting the Hermit card, which is the number 9 in the tarot. So 6 to 9 months, I think, before we actually start to hear. But be careful before that, when people are over talking this vaccine, they may not be totally straight. They may be trying to cast that illusion and delusion around. And I'm getting an obvious draw to the Trump government. Take what information you get with a grain of salt. But there is a vaccine on the way. We are just at the beginning. And we have to learn to live with this. We have to learn to manage it. Okay, so that's the reading in its entirety. I hope that was useful for you. I'll be back again with another reading later on this week. And we probably will go to, we might go to some of those investigations and see where they're at. Maybe the Eastern District of New York. We may touch base with SDNY. We may look at how quickly Cy Vance's case is going to go in the Manhattan State Attorney's Office. So Letitia James's office. We might go there, but something else might come up in between. But anyway, that's my overarching CV reading. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be back again with another reading again. Namaste.